Imagine you have been cooking with garlic your entire life. Every pasta, every soup, every roasted vegetable. You add it at the beginning, the way your mother did, the way every recipe tells you to. The smell fills the kitchen. You feel good about it. You have heard for years that garlic is good for your heart, and you believe it because everything you have read says so. What nobody told you is this. The moment that garlic hits a hot pan, you are destroying the one compound responsible for everything garlic was ever supposed to do for your arteries. And the preparation I am going to show you tonight, the one that preserves that compound and delivers it to your arterial walls during the exact hours your body is trying to repair them, takes 4 minutes and costs almost nothing. My name is Dr. Elena Russo. I am an internal medicine physician, and I have been practicing in northern New Jersey for over 25 years, with a focus on cardiovascular risk and preventive care in adults over 60. I started this channel because I kept watching patients do everything right and still end up in trouble. Not because they were careless, but because they were never given the full picture. That compound I mentioned has a name, allicin. And by the time this video is done, you will understand exactly what it does inside your arterial walls, why almost every common preparation method destroys it before it can do anything, and how a simple overnight protocol, started tonight, gives your body what it needs during the hours it was already designed to heal. Before I show you the preparation, I want you to understand something that most people your age have never been told, because it changes the way you think about everything that follows. During deep sleep, specifically the slow wave stages that your body enters in the first few hours after you fall asleep, something remarkable happens inside your cardiovascular system. Your heart rate drops, your blood pressure lowers, the inflammatory activity that runs constantly during your waking hours begins to quiet, and the cells that line the inside of your arteries, a single-cell thick layer called the endothelium, shift into a repair and regeneration cycle. This is not a theory. This is a measurable biological process. The endothelium is responsible for arterial flexibility. It produces the compounds that keep your vessels from stiffening, that prevent plaque from adhering to the walls, that regulate blood flow. During waking hours, it is under constant pressure. Stress hormones, blood sugar fluctuations, inflammatory signals from food. At night, when those pressures ease, it gets to work. After 60, this overnight repair window becomes shorter and less efficient. Your autonomic nervous system, the one managing the transition into deep sleep, loses some of its precision. The repair happens, but it does not happen as completely or as reliably as it did when you were younger. This is part of why arterial stiffness accelerates with age. Not because the body stops trying to repair itself, because the tools available to it, the compounds circulating in your bloodstream during those hours, are increasingly inadequate to the job. What you take into your body in the hour before you sleep determines what your endothelium has to work with during that window. That is the entire logic of what I am about to show you. Before we go further, I want to ask you something. When you cook with garlic, do you add it at the beginning, while the pan is still heating up? Or do you add it near the end? Leave your answer in the comments. I want to see how many of you already sense why that distinction matters. Because the answer is going to surprise most of you. Garlic in its raw, uncut state contains a sulfur-based compound called allicin. Allicin on its own is biologically inert. It does nothing for your arteries. It just sits there inside the clove. But when you crush or chop a garlic clove, something changes. The physical damage to the cell walls releases an enzyme called alliinase, which was stored separately inside the clove. Alliinase contacts allicin and converts it within seconds into allicin. Allicin is the active compound. It is the reason garlic has been used medicinally for thousands of years across dozens of cultures. It is the reason modern cardiology has paid attention. Here is what allicin does inside your body that is directly relevant to your arteries. First, it inhibits an enzyme called HMG-CoA reductase, the same enzyme that statin medications target, which is responsible for cholesterol synthesis in the liver. Second, it reduces platelet aggregation, the tendency of blood cells to clump together in ways that contribute to clot formation and plaque buildup. Third, and most important for the overnight protocol I am about to describe, it stimulates the production of nitric oxide in endothelial cells. Nitric oxide is your artery's natural relaxation signal. It tells the vessel wall to open, to soften, to stay flexible. A 2020 review published in the journal Antioxidants confirmed allisin's direct role in reducing oxidized LDL, the form of cholesterol that does the most direct damage to arterial walls. Not total LDL, oxidized LDL, which is what makes cholesterol genuinely dangerous rather than simply present. Now here is the part I need you to hear clearly. Allicin is destroyed by heat, not gradually, not partially. Studies show that as little as 60 seconds of exposure to high cooking temperatures deactivates the enzyme alliinase before the full conversion can complete. When you add garlic to a hot pan at the beginning of cooking, which is what almost every recipe instructs you to do, you are producing food that tastes like garlic, smells like garlic, and contains almost no active allicin. You have made a flavoring. You have not made medicine. The second thing most people do not know. The majority of commercial garlic supplements, the capsules sold in health food stores and pharmacies, are heat processed during manufacturing. The label says garlic extract. What it contains in active allicin is often negligible. A 2001 analysis published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry tested dozens of commercial garlic products and found that most delivered a fraction of the allicin their labels implied, because the conversion was either incomplete or the compound had degraded before encapsulation. So where does vinegar come in? This is where the preparation changes everything. Acetic acid, the active compound in vinegar, does something that cooking cannot. Instead of destroying the enzymatic process that produces allicin, it stabilizes allicin once it has formed. The acidic environment slows the degradation of allicin significantly, extending the window during which it remains biologically active in your body after you consume it. This is why the garlic vinegar preparation, when made correctly, delivers something that raw garlic eaten quickly or cooked garlic cannot: a sustained release of allicin that reaches peak blood concentration hours after ingestion. But vinegar does not stop there. Acetic acid independently supports arterial health through two additional mechanisms. It improves insulin sensitivity, which blunts the kind of post-meal blood sugar spikes that cause blood vessels to constrict. And it has been shown in multiple studies to stimulate nitric oxide production directly in endothelial cells, the same mechanism allicin triggers, through a separate biochemical pathway. These are not the same effect arriving twice. They are two distinct signals, both arriving at your arterial walls, both saying the same thing: relax, open, repair. This is not an additive relationship. It is a synergistic one. The combination of allicin and acetic acid together supports arterial wall repair through complementary pathways, which is why the preparation matters as much as the ingredients. I want to tell you about a patient named Raymond. He was 68 years old, a retired postal worker from Columbus, Ohio, who had been managing high blood pressure with 2 medications for 6 years. He came to see me not because anything had gone wrong acutely, but because nothing had gone right. His numbers had plateaued. His cardiologist was talking about adding a third drug. Raymond was a practical man, not afraid of medication. But he wanted to understand what else was possible before that conversation happened. We talked about the garlic vinegar protocol. He was skeptical, in the way that I respect, asking me to explain the mechanism rather than just accepting the recommendation. I walked him through exactly what I have told you. He went home and started that night. He mentioned it to his cardiologist, who had no objections to trying it alongside his existing regimen. 3 months later, his systolic pressure had dropped 11 points from its baseline. His cardiologist reduced one of his medications to half the previous dose. When Raymond came back for his follow-up, he sat down across from me and said, "I have been putting garlic in everything for 30 years. I had no idea I was cooking away the whole point of it." The method matters. Not as a ritual, but because each step has a specific mechanical reason behind it. Start with 8 to 10 raw garlic cloves. Remove the papery skin. Then crush each clove. Do not mince it. Do not slice it. Crush it. Use the flat of a knife, the bottom of a glass, whatever you have available. Crushing causes more widespread cell wall damage than chopping, which means more alliinase is released and more allicin is produced in the conversion. Now stop. Do not add the vinegar yet. Set a timer for 10 minutes and walk away. This resting period is the step that almost no recipe mentions and almost every preparation skips. After the cloves are crushed, allinase needs time to complete the conversion of allan into allicin. If you add an acidic liquid immediately, you arrest the enzymatic process before it finishes. The vinegar preserves allicin, but only the allicin that has already formed. If you wait 10 minutes before adding the vinegar, you allow the conversion to run its course, and then the vinegar stabilizes what was produced. That single 10-minute rest is the difference between making a health food and making a flavored condiment. After the rest, place the crushed cloves in a clean glass jar. Cover them completely with raw apple cider vinegar with the mother intact, or with rice vinegar if you prefer a milder flavor. Do not use distilled white vinegar. The polyphenol content of raw apple cider vinegar and rice vinegar is meaningfully higher and contributes additional antioxidant activity. If you would like to offset the sharpness of the flavor, a small amount of raw honey is fine and does not interfere with the mechanism. Seal the jar and refrigerate it. It is ready to eat within 24 hours. The flavor and bioavailability are optimal at 72 hours. It keeps for up to 30 days. The timing of consumption matters as much as the preparation. 2 to 3 cloves, eaten 30 to 60 minutes before you go to sleep. Not with dinner. Not in the morning. 30 to 60 minutes before bed. This timing allows allicin to reach peak blood concentration during the early stages of deep sleep, when your endothelium is beginning its overnight repair cycle. You are not hoping the compound does something general. You are delivering it to the process that needs it, during the exact hours that process is running. Have you ever been told by a doctor that your blood pressure is difficult to control, or that your arteries are showing signs of stiffening? Tell me in the comments. You are not alone in this, and the number of people who reach 60 without ever being given practical information like this is something I think about every time I sit down to make one of these videos. I want to give you the complete framework, because the garlic vinegar preparation is most effective when it is part of a coordinated approach to what your body does during the hours you are asleep. Call it the pre-sleep arterial protocol. 3 components, each with a specific reason. The first is the garlic vinegar preparation. 2 to 3 cloves, 30 to 60 minutes before bed, made exactly as I described. Allicin in your bloodstream during the overnight repair window. The second is meal timing. The last food you eat should be at least 3 hours before you go to sleep. Not because of digestion in the way people commonly think of it, but because a significant meal triggers an insulin response that keeps your blood sugar cycling for hours afterward. During that cycle, your body is not in repair mode. It is in management mode. Your overnight window is shorter and shallower. Finishing your last meal by 7 or 8 in the evening, for most people over 60 who sleep around 10 or 11, gives your body time to stabilize before the repair cycle begins. The third component is what you remove from the hours before sleep. Evening alcohol is the most common sabotage, and not for the reason most people assume. Alcohol does temporarily lower blood pressure. That initial effect is real. But 3 to 4 hours after consumption, during the deepest stages of sleep, your sympathetic nervous system overcorrects. Your cortisol surges. Your blood pressure can reach its highest point of the entire 24-hour cycle at 2 or 3 in the morning, while you are completely unaware. The repair window your body was trying to open is instead flooded with a stress response. Evening herbal teas containing licorice root, often listed on labels as glycyrrhiza or sweet root, have a similar effect through a different mechanism. Licorice root blocks an enzyme in your kidneys that regulates cortisol. Without it, cortisol accumulates in your bloodstream overnight. Check the label of whatever you drink before bed tonight, and the cooking oils you used in your last meal are not neutral. Refined seed oils, canola, soybean, sunflower, produce a direct inflammatory signal to endothelial cells that persists for hours. You can give your arteries allicin at 10 o'clock and partially undo it with what you cooked in at 6. The protocol works because allicin is circulating in your bloodstream at the exact moment your arterial walls are trying to repair themselves. You are not fighting inflammation reactively during the day. You are giving your body the compound it needs during the hours it was designed to use it. I want to tell you about a patient named Shirley. She was 72 years old, a retired librarian from Portland, Oregon, and she came to see me carrying something that was clearly weighing on her before she even sat down. She set a folder on my desk and opened it to a carotid ultrasound report. Early plaque formation. Not at a level requiring intervention, but visible, documented, confirmed. Her previous physician had used the word watch. What Shirley told me next was that her daughter had had a stroke at 58. Shirley had spent 14 years watching her daughter recover and rebuild, and she had decided, sitting in the imaging center reading that report, that she was not going to be passive about what was happening in her own arteries. She was not interested in starting statins yet, not because she was resistant to medication, but because she wanted to understand the full picture of what was possible through other means before that conversation. She was exactly the kind of patient I went into this specialty to work with. We put together a protocol that included the garlic vinegar preparation before bed, replacing her cooking oils, and changing the order in which she ate her meals. Not dramatic changes, changes she could sustain. 18 months later, she had a repeat carotid ultrasound. Her vascular specialist note described the plaque as stable, with reduced inflammatory markers in her blood work. Not reversed, to be precise with the language. Stable, with measurable improvement in the inflammatory environment that determines whether it grows or holds. Shirley came back to my office with a printed copy of that report. She set it on my desk the same way she had set the first one, and she looked at me and said, "I just needed someone to tell me it wasn't too late." That compound, allicin, circulating in Shirley's bloodstream while she slept, was doing exactly what it was always capable of doing. She had just finally given it the chance. I want you to think about one person right now. Someone in your life who cooks with garlic every day, who takes care of their heart in every way they have been taught, and who has no idea that the preparation method is the variable nobody ever explained. Send them this video. Tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to do one thing. Go to your kitchen, take out 4 or 5 garlic cloves, crush them, do not cut them, crush them. Set a timer for 10 minutes. That is where this starts. Not tomorrow, not after you buy something. Tonight, with what is already in your kitchen. The next video is going to cover something that works in parallel with what you just learned. A specific preparation applied before bed that supports the liver's overnight filtration process. The liver processes everything that enters your bloodstream, including everything your arteries are working to recover from. If you leave that system unsupported, you are asking your arteries to do repair work in an environment that is still carrying yesterday's burden. That is exactly where we go next. If you are not subscribed yet, please do. Every week, I bring you information that I wish my patients had access to years before they needed to sit across from me with a report in their hands.